Welcome to the Sales Lab.
Do an internship, right? Do an internship, and I'm a strong believer in internships. In fact, just before we got on the call, we just got approval for another intern, because some of our interns, well, all of our interns graduate university, but when they graduate, if they would like a job with us, again, they have to interview, but we will oftentimes find that they have really what it takes. So interning is great because we get to try them on for size. They get to try us on for size, and they get to try our industry on for size. Is this really, hey, I'm a rising junior, and I'm taking biomedical engineering, right? And then they come to a company like ours, and they're not making decisions about how the instruments are made. That's not happening at the intern level. Mm-hmm. However, they're selling and they're talking to customers in that industry. And some of them are like, oh, I never thought of that. I never thought that I'd be good at that, because a lot of times, and I heard this on your last podcast, your last guest, a lot of times they've had bad experiences with selling, right? And they need to be told that, and shown that selling is a noble profession. And I had a guy once in a small business, I did some volunteer work for small businesses. I had a guy tell me that selling makes me feel dirty. And he had a very small company. There was maybe 10, 15 people working in the company. And it was his company. And I'm like, dude, there's something wrong with your impression of selling and what selling is, right? So again, back to internship.
And as a business owner, you gotta get that figured out sooner than later, because
exactly. Yeah, nothing happens until somebody sells something. So that was an old Ziegler thing from back in the day. But yeah, so internships are a great way. And, and sometimes we had a young man that interned with us selling, and they're not doing, Willy, don't get me wrong, they're not doing cold calling all day. And it's not that. They're actually selling or pre-qualifying for an opportunity that might be there. A lot of them are doing data analysis and analytics for us based upon the heaps of data that we've amassed over the years. So they're doing really valuable stuff. And we had a young man that did well in that. But hey, when he graduated, he said, "Listen, I was just offered a job with Texas Instruments, and I'm going to be on the process floor, kind of managing these processes." And this was just on the cusp of the big, multi-billion-dollar CHIPS Act and all of that, right? So obviously TI was, trying to get their organization up to speed. And he went there, and I've followed him on LinkedIn and whatnot. We've kept in touch, and just to see his progression in the organization. And there's a perfect example of what he interned for didn't necessarily be the job that he jumped into. But I will tell you the skills that he got from doing the selling and influencing and analyzing the data, I am sure that is helping him in his current role.